So today we're here to take a look at our 2020 Can-Am Maverick Sport X RC. This is actually the same exact machine that we reviewed for UTV Off-Road Magazine. If you want the specs on it and you want any details on it, you can check it out here on UTVOffroadMag.com. We have a digital e-zine. All you got to do is go ahead and click on our link there, and it actually brings you right to the story. And it's literally the machine that you see behind me right here. All right, lots of specs, lots of information. In any case, we posted a video a couple of weeks ago, and it's gotten a tremendous amount of action, which tells me that there's some people out there that want a lot more information about this particular machine. So figured we'd give you an overview, some of the things that we really like about it, and some things we're thinking about in the future for it as well too. Obviously it's muddy, so we're out doing some testing with it, and weather's not that great here in central Pennsylvania in late December, so rather than chance trying to wash it outside, it's muddy for our review. At least you know we're driving the thing around. In any case, a couple of things to talk about it. Starting from the front, moving backward, this machine does come with a built-in winch. It's a 4,500 pound winch. It's a Can-Am branded winch. I'm not actually sure who is manufacturing the winch for them, but it works really well. Has a nice toggle switching on the dash, and you know, nowadays when you're spending this kind of money that you're spending on UTVs and taking them in the areas where you're taking them, you want to be able to make sure that in the event that you end up stuck, you're going to be able to get yourself out. So factory winch is an awesome option. Looking at the front suspension and moving backwards, a couple of things you're going to notice. The most obvious is the Fox Podium. They're Podium 2.5s. They have the QS3 or QR3 system on it, which essentially means, I can show you on the back a little easier, that it's adjustable. So the compression is adjustable on this, 3 different clicks, and you can definitely feel the difference as you are making those adjustments. If you check out the upper A-arm on this thing, look at how beefy that upper A-arm is. So they're curved so that they're higher clearance, but just look at the gusset on that to hold that thing together. Obviously we've got some big wheels and tires on here, which carry some weight, so Can-Am's done their due diligence to make sure that we are going to end up with a really strong front end. Front sway bar. Not a lot of UTVs have a front sway bar. These guys do, and you'll notice when you're driving these, they feel really planted, even with the big wheels and tires. That is 100% the reason to do a front sway bar, so you get a much more positive, connected to the ground feel with it. Let's talk about the wheels and tires. So 14-inch wheels, 30-inch Maxxis Liberties, and right from the factory. In my neck of the woods, everything's going big tire, and you know, one of the first upgrades that new owners of a UTV make is they go out, they spend $20,000–$25,000 on a UTV, and then they go out and spend another $2,000 upgrading the wheels and the tires. What I love about the Maverick Sport X RC is that it comes with the 30-inch tires right from the factory. And the benefit of doing it this way, obviously you have it when you buy it, but the other benefit, the added benefit, is that in the rear end, the differential is set up so that it is geared to work with this size tire. Whereas if you buy a machine with 27-inch or 28-inch tires and you go and you put 30s or 32s, they're not geared that way from the factory to handle those, and there's a big difference. You end up having to drive it around in low range a lot, whereas with this, we run this in high almost all the time. So a couple of other things to talk about. Rub rails on the bottom, and the hole underneath of this, I don't know if you can get underneath and take a look, but the hole underneath of this is ultra high molecular weight plastic. You'll hear people call it UHMW. And what it does is it not only protects the bottom of the UTV, but it also makes it slippery, so that when a rock hits it, it actually slides rather than snags. And that's the benefit when you're rock crawling of having UHMW over having something like aluminum or steel. Those two materials tend to grab the machine more than let it slide. All right, so checking out the doors, full doors, which are awesome. These are some of the best doors on the market. Can-Am designs a really, really well done door that keeps a lot of stuff out of the interior, a lot of the mess out of the interior. Not everything, as you'll see when we open the door, but it does a pretty decent job of keeping you clean. Nice automotive style opener. They're actually sealed, so if you look, there's a weather stripping all the way around here, which keeps that mud and slop out of there. Lots and lots of interior space in this. I'm 6'2", and I've got plenty of leg room in here. Once I get inside of it, works really, really well. With the door closed, you can see just how well it is. Almost acts like a bolster on my shoulder over here, so keeps you planted with your seatbelt in, of course. Kind of keeps you in and planted into the seat. It does have tilt steering, which is nice. My legs are pretty long and I don't have to tilt the steering to get in and out of it. Gated shifter, so has a parking gear, reverse, neutral, high, and low. Here's something that's really interesting about the Maverick Sport X RC is that it actually comes with Can-Am Smart Lock system. So in addition to two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive and a locking front differential where you can, if we turn it on here, we can put it in 2, you can put it in 4, and then you can put it into front differential lock where it totally locks the front diff. That's if you're in a situation where you're completely stuck and you're trying to get out. That's what you want that front diff for. The smart lock feature is this. When you have it in just regular four-wheel drive, you'll notice that trail lights up over here, and I can actually put it into rock. That's the smart lock front differential. So in trail, it senses whether it needs to lock the front differential, and it will automatically, thus the smart feature, lock the front diff or unlock the front diff. For the trail, it's not quite as aggressive. If you put it in rock mode, then it's going to tend to lock that front differential a little bit quicker than it would in the trail mode. And then obviously when the going gets really tough, you can just totally lock the front differential on it. And all of this, if you look here on the dash, you can see it shows whether it's locked or unlocked. I can unlock it here and you see it disappears. Goes off when I put it in the floor. It locks the front, excuse me, with an auto diff. And now it's actually locked. Couple of different drive modes. It does have eco mode and it has sport mode. Obviously, sport mode is going to be the sportiest of all the modes, so it gives you the full power. In eco mode, it just what it does is it limits the throttle response. So it doesn't quite have as much hit with eco mode as it does with sport mode, and just basic menu and trip features. So that's kind of it with this. While I'm inside, I might as well show you. Check out the storage space. The storage space in the front dash. So I always carry a tire plant here. I would imagine it's maybe 2.5 gallons worth of storage space. So quite a bit. Not waterproof, but it does a nice job of keeping the water out. Let's keep moving backwards. Out back here, if you come over this way, you can see it a little better. Out back here, you can see how the Fox shocks are actually adjusted. So that would be the plushest setting at number 1. Number 2 would be medium, and then number 3. So it is a compression adjustment. These do not have rebound adjustment. Rebound adjustment is always down here on the base of the shock. These don't have rebound adjustment. Out back here, really a lot of storage space. You can utilize, Can-Am has a feature, I can't think of the name of their particular system. Let me grab it. But the Link, that's what it is. It's the Link system. So they have a number of different accessories, and the locks lock into here, and you can just drop different storage devices, etc., and they lock in and out. It allows you to pull this in and out pretty quickly and pretty easily. This does have a rear sway bar as well too, which keeps it pretty dialed in, makes it handle really well. Does have the skid plate underneath the rear A-arms, and it does also come with front and rear bumpers too. Actually, something I forgot about on the front here. You get stuck and not a real good place to grab onto it. This is factory. I think it looks cool. I really like their front bumper design as well too. It looks really, really sleek. You can see that the front wheels actually stick out even a little further than the bumper here a little bit. It's just really lends itself to rock crawling, big tires, and able to get those tires up on top of an obstacle without getting hung up too terribly. This machine is $21,499 actually, I think, to be exact. That's a pretty good price range, I think. And there are a couple of things that I think are important to point out about this. It is missing two things, in my opinion. Number one, it's missing a factory roof. I think that having the option of a factory roof would be fantastic, and it just doesn't come with that, and I think that it should actually. And the other thing that I was hoping for actually I forgot something. The storage under here as well too. A little storage spot under here, so probably enough to put your cell phone, although it would bounce around in there a little bit. In any case, the other thing that I was going to mention was maybe perhaps a dash that was a little bit more interactive, a little bit more involved, or that it came with an aftermarket or with a stereo or something too would be great. It's a pretty expensive machine, but in the arena of sport UTVs, it's probably average now at this point. There's many machines that are a lot more than this. Kind of to summarize where I'm going with this whole video. When we initially got this demo, it's not ours, it's Can-Am's. When we initially got this demo to test out, I thought that I would do only rock crawling with it, RC, thus the rock crawling. And the reality of it is that this is a great trail machine. As I mentioned before, you're starting to see a lot of big tired UTVs around here, and they just keep getting bigger, and I think that's an industry trend, and I think you're going to continue to see that to happen even more. With a light truck tire, they're awesome. I know what the other thing that I was going to mention was. These are 14-inch wheels. If they were a 15-inch wheel, it would give you the opportunity to have access to many other likely sized tires, light truck tires, and there are 14 now. I think at some point they will end up being a 15-inch wheel with a 15-inch tire. But back to my original point. People in the market for a really good trail machine should honestly consider the RCs. Don't negate them as a choice simply because rock crawler is in it. You may never rock crawl, and this could still be an excellent machine for you just because of the higher ground clearance. If you live in a snowy climate like we do, higher ground clearance is going to allow you to traverse terrain that you wouldn't normally be able to get through due to nothing else than additional ground clearance. So overall, an awesome machine. We are going to put a roof on it. We are going to add a little bit of a bigger tire. This is a 30. We're going to go to a 31 or maybe a 32, just to see what that does for us, and does it allow us to go places we haven't gone before, although I've never had it stuck, to be completely honest with you. So it's an excellent machine. So yeah, if you have any other questions about it, definitely leave us a comment in the comment section. Absolutely would appreciate it if you guys would subscribe, and let us know what else, what other content we can provide for you. And certainly check out our reviews in the future at utvoffroadmag.com. And we have a Facebook page for that site as well, and a YouTube page and Instagram. So check us out at utvoffroadmag.com.